celebrating near Largo today. The special election for President Trump's own state House district turned blue. Democrat Emily Gregory bested Trump-endorsed Republican John Maples by about 2 percentage points. It is a deep red district, or at least it was, that Trump won in 2024 by 11 percentage points. That means a 13-point swing towards Democrats. Gregory told CNN's Randy Kay that what happened in her district won't stay in just her district.
I think it's a real reaction to the current policies at the national and state level. And I think that is a clear indication from voters it's the wrong track. And go ahead, legislatures, go ahead, representatives, focus on property insurance, healthcare, education, focus on the things that Floridians care about.
The Democrats are also poised to flip a state Senate seat near Tampa, but the race remains too close to call. Our smart reporters are back. Jasmine, what are you hearing from your sources in the Trump orbit about how they really feel about what happened?
Publicly, I think they're saying it's a one-off.
No, I know. But what are you hearing privately?
Privately, obviously, this does not spell well for them, right? And this is just the next example, the next instance in which you're seeing seats in which Republicans comfortably won under President Trump not doing so well, and that it's happening in the president's backyard, so to say. Obviously, that doesn't bode well for the president, who we know follows these races basically number by number across the state. I talked to one official who said that he could basically at any time name a race that's happening and who is in that race and how they're doing. And so the president is following this closely. I think that the Republican Party and those folks around the president have sunk a lot of money into trying to make sure that the midterms go their way. And this type of moment just doesn't break in their way. And I think that that's concerning to a lot of people.
Yeah. And I know their public line is that this is a one-off. It's not a one-off. I mean, yes, in a state...
It's multiple instances.
Exactly. In special elections, really across the country so far, and not to mention the 2025 actual elections that happened. Just want to look at an example of where sort of the president's economic approval rating is, because that is what drives the way that people feel, no question about it. So if you go back to when Joe Biden was still president, but Trump was president-elect, 34%. Then when Donald Trump took office, January 2025, was 42%. March 17th, 35%. Now, 29%. March 17th, that wasn't that long ago.
No.
It was like last week.
Yeah. And even then, too, there was concern among Republicans and the president's allies about him facing a decline in support on the issues that were once his strongest issues, that being the economy and immigration. Now you have the decline that you've seen since the start of the war in Iran as well. Gas prices are some of the most politically toxic, measure, right? This is something that I remember in the Biden era, Ron Klain was like tweeting every week because of the backlash they were getting, particularly on gas prices. So you have the fact, I think of right now, this precarious time that the president and Republicans are in. These races and these wins, when you look at them in tandem with the decline in support he's facing on those issues, you think about also James Blair, White House official, telling Republicans in a closed-door meeting, we need to recalibrate our language on something like immigration, stop talking about mass deportations. You think about Chief of Staff Susie Wiles also saying the president's going to travel more and talk about the economy. That speaks to issues that were once political strengths turning into vulnerabilities at a time when Democrats are picking up some wins right now. So that all of that together does create some anxiety.
And the repercussion from the Iran war, and this is what you were getting at, makes the vulnerabilities that he has on the economy even more dire for the president. It's not easy to turn that around, even if and when the Iran war stops. Lauren, look at these numbers. 31 seats in the House of Representatives that Republicans won and Trump won by 10 points or less. Why are we putting that up there? Because in a situation this November when people are upset and they want to take it out on the party in charge, Republicans, those 31 seats are the most vulnerable and the most in danger of flipping to the Democrats.
Yeah, when I look at Republicans, the two vulnerabilities that I see in these House races are the fact that they are the party in power, which we just generally know there's a historic trend there in midterms. And then the second vulnerability is, what is their message right now? Because I'm not sure what it is. I talk to these members every day, and everyone has things that they are passionate about, excited about. There are people who support the effort in Iran. There are people who are worried about the effort in Iran. There are people who love the Save America Act. There are people who are worried about disenfranchising voters who vote by mail because that is a large part of their constituency. And they are hashing this all out at all times. And no one is really talking about the big, beautiful bill that they passed last summer. And so I'm just at a loss for what the message is right now.
But isn't the sort of age-old problem, or the 10-year-old problem since Donald Trump has been on the scene, that it almost doesn't matter what their message is, because what Republicans will be judged on isn't by what they say, it's by what Donald Trump does.
And I think that was evident in that House caucus meeting when they were in Florida, right? And we had people on the ground there, and the members kept wanting to talk about affordability, but the president wasn't really talking about affordability when he addressed them. The members were wanting to talk about things that Americans are cared about day in and day out, but the national conversation was about Iran. And so, I think that the members are, talking amongst themselves, trying to figure out a way to market themselves come November. But the White House is kind of off on their own, doing their own thing. Before Iran, it was Venezuela. Before Venezuela, it was something else. And so I think that not just we're questioning what the message is amongst Republicans on the Hill, but what is the messaging in tandem with the White House? And shouldn't the White House be leading some of that messaging? And I just don't think you're seeing that, because the White House is preoccupied with other things.
I mean, they kind of are leading the message, and by they, we know that's one person, and that's the president. But, all right, everybody, stand by. Thank you so